what kind of capacity are we talking about? Is this like, we have hundreds of machines, we have thousands of machines, we have like dozens of data centers? What sort of
All of
scale? I mean,
that. Yeah.
okay, yeah, like
Yeah.
AOL was big, like it was like
Yeah.
the thing. And now I like read white papers that are like, oh, we have like, 5 million hosts over here. I'm like, that's what? Like
There
that's a
probably weren't
different
5
number.
million hosts on the internet in
Yeah,
2004, right?
exactly.
Like just the capacity constraint was so different. But yeah, 2004 was sort of the beginning of Web 2. So
Yeah.
the beginning of what we called the portal era, right? So Yahoo and AOL and that stuff. And Google was just kind of, rising
It
at
was around.
that
Yeah.
point, right? So we were moving AOL.com. Part of the insanity was like we had our own web server, right? So AOL server was written in
Oh,
C.
like you had your own. Okay.
No,
I was
yeah,
like, no, this is
exactly.
no Apache here. We're just
No,
like,
no, not at all. Not until like 2008, I think, is when we started going to Apache. So yeah, it was AOL server, which is C core with Tickle as the user language. So TCL, tool command language. If you're not as gray as me, you probably have never seen it, right? Its other claim to fame is that it ran TiVo. Like the TiVos were programmed in Tickle, right?
oh,
Like so
okay.
it was AOL server and TiVo, right?
Yeah.
Doing Tickle. And yeah, so we're porting all that stuff over from the Solaris boxes onto Linux boxes and spreading it out because the capacity at the time was kind of stranded. So AOL had regional data centers and they were large and they were owned. Like that was the big deal at the time. Like you owned your data center. And we're getting into as things were growing in capacity. So at the time, AOL.com was like the sixth largest site on the internet, right? So it was big. And
Yeah.
so we're spreading things out, trying to co-locate things closer to users. And this is also at the same time, the rise of like global DNS sharing. So you had Akamai was the commercial provider of the time, right, for that stuff, where you go to www.aol.com and it would point you to the closest place. And that was Akamai handling all of that stuff. So we had hundreds of servers in a dozen locations to serve the US, and like were these little pods that ran with all the stuff you needed on the back end as well, because when you log in as an AOL user, it knows all this stuff about you. So
Mm-hmm.
it knows who you are and what you like and what you want
And
to
if you
see
have
on the
mail.
homepage, right? How much mail you have, like all this stuff. So we had to bring all that stuff with us when we log into these or load up these localized data centers. So there's a whole lot of stuff all over the place at that time, and all these like the owned data centers, the big ones, and then these colos. So it was crazy. There was just a lot of stuff everywhere.